Bottom lane, certainly huge advantages. I'm just scared for T1 on the top side of the map because Keen, we know what he can do with this Lucian pickup. And yes, Renekton can win the matchup, but I just don't know whether Canna versus Keen, the Renekton's going to win the matchup because I do have a lot of respect for Keen's ability to play a counter matchup better than most, right? And we've seen Renektons come out of the end of this matchup quite okay. But based on the caliber of Keen's Lucian, I don't think it should be the case this time.
It should be a really hard matchup for T1, and the very peculiar thing is they knew that they were drafting into this. So we'll see if Renekton manages to beat Boris with some of his items, pick up the Ninja Tab Eye and the Bramble Vest early on, or if Elam is going to sin out of his mind to try to offset the pressure up in top lane. But like you mentioned, Atlas, both of these team compositions are not intending to go the distance. And so we should have a very action-packed or early and mid-game focused game. Emphasis on soul captures is going to be very important. It should be in T1's favor, though, with the way that the lanes are set up.
Well, especially bottom side, Dragon controls should be forever in the control of T1. But here we are, onto the Rift for game number 2.
Draven.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see what he's going to be able to do here.
Has the cleanse on him as well. And this is going to be the main focus, as Butterfree is going to disappear.
Yeah, and we saw Ghost pick up the Manamune, but we saw, I believe it was Hans Sama, go back to the old build, which was the first item, Bloodthirster. We're not expecting that one out of Gumayusi this time around, though. So still showing that, you know, there are a lot of options that you can go for, as it's game 2. And so what happens is we get pauses. And we did tell you that the first season of the Pog State was over, but don't worry, it's back. Here we are.
It is definitely back. Unsure what...
Yeah, we've got some audio stuff going on. I believe it was a Discord issue or something like that over on the Afrika side. So not going to be something like we had during the final.
I just really hope that we get a 4-hour pause.
Well, I mean, now that you say it, do we have anything better to do? I don't think so. You know, this is what we want. We want to hang out at home and just chat to you guys, the collective, about what's been going on. You had a new show that you did last night. As we are back into the game, but we can talk about that. You're on with like Dom and Dagon, right?
Oh yeah, Face Check. We've been doing that a couple of weeks now.
Nice. How's it been going?
It's been going real good. It's really nice. I stream it. Dom uploads it. That's how it goes.
Nice. Actually, I've been watching a bit of Dagon recently. I hung out with him at Worlds last year, and he's a really cool guy. But I've been watching a bit of Summoners War Esports, and he's been hosting the Americas side of that too. So cool to see friends getting work, especially in these challenging times. As let's bring our minds back to the game just a little bit, having a little bit of a hover over this Hail of Blades Draven, which is definitely the standard Draven build at this point in time. Nothing to worry about there. There's effort. Skin choice on point, not necessarily coordinated, but it's damn cool, this Pantheon skin.
And you can see double axes being spun right now by Gumayusi, taking the lane a little bit slow, not just auto-attacking.
This is where all of the Tyler 1 fans are now analysts, right? Because they've been watching this so much, they feel like they know everything about Draven.
I mean, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, it's me too. That's how I know that Draven exists.
Gumayusi might be on T1, but he'd be lucky if he could play as good as Tyler.
Well, in goes effort. Gumayusi with the W. Lots of damage. But not exactly enough as Faker. Down to 200 here in the mid lane up against Fly, as both of them going through their consumables. Faker down to 1 charge left on that corrupting pot. As Spirit looking for a bit of an invade here. Will find Ellen with a very healthy red buff. And that's a big health advantage there as Ellen turns on the Siren. Faker with the inside track though. Fly is going to be right here as Ellen down to 200 himself. Oh, that's big true damage, and the bubble isn't going to connect. Spirit flashes forward. Oh, he's going to cancel the auto attack, and there is the blast cone to get Ellen to safety. A little bit of a misstep there from Spirit, but still looking like he is able to dictate the pace in the jungle.
Yeah. And a little interesting, and we knew that Spirit would do stuff like this, obviously, on the set. Tries to get aggressive and offset things very early on. Meanwhile, though, down in bot lane for T1, they're having a very good time right now. And okay, get the bone plating off the Taric. I think they're thinking about maybe trying to coordinate a dive.
Ellen's at half health. This is going to be risky.
Well, Pantheon E. That's all that really matters.
Yeah, right.
Pantheon's ability to juggle everything. Bone plating not available. And you can tell. They smell it. They know it's a possibility.
Yeah,
and oh,
Community threatening with that W. It's now on cooldown, and he doesn't exactly have a lot of health.
No.
As Ben and Mystic come back. Diving a Taric is rough, even without ultimate, just because of the healing. But Keen getting all in by Canna here, but that's going to be first blood in the solo kill. Unfortunately, those solo kill stats are not going to be getting extended by Canna. It's the solo death that he's going to pick up there. And this is exactly what we illustrated at the beginning of the game. This was going to be a rough matchup.
This is going to indeed be pretty hard. Now, he does zone him off of the cannon, so a little bit of 5-head right there.
Yeah,
it's all
there
just
we
part
go.
of the plan, yeah.
He took a crocodile over a cannon.
Yeah.
And, you know, in a battle, I'd probably take cannon.
Well, you can see Keen gonna teleport on the back minion, Kana trying to keep the wave in front of his turret, but let's see how this all transpires. Yeah, I don't know what Kana's doing. He goes for the trade there, double slice and dice. Just doesn't have the damage, really overestimated. And Keen, he still had a biscuit. He didn't even pop it.
Yeah, didn't have to.
So, very confident that there was no way that he would actually die there.
And this is very different. Even Fly is having a pretty good time here in the mid lane. It is going to be entirely even when it comes to CS. But you can see lane priority going over to the Syndra, which is exactly what you want to be doing, right? You want to be able to create as much space for the set jungle as possible, because he just doesn't clear as fast as something like a Volibear does. The reason you pick set into Volibear is based on teamfight matchup, right? Because you get to superplex the Volibear out after he ults himself in, and you can get extra damage there with the high health bar that he does have. So Spirit looking for a bit of a gank here towards the top side. And I don't see Canna actually going for any aggression, because we saw what happened last time. As Keen might be able to get himself a plate as Spirit is in position. Cheeky little shot there by Keen as he dashes out of the way. Now with that on cooldown and taking a turret shot, he's attempting to bait.
Yeah.
But Canna's having none of it.
Trying to tell a story that would convince Kana that maybe all-inning him with Dominus and Flash would end up being worthwhile, but not going to narrate it well enough. And this is going to be the third turret plate falling down here in bottom. Solo going over to Draven, so really nice coordination by Gumayusi and Effort. Faker's a little trapped in laning phase right now, though. He's extremely low on mana. He does have the teleport available, so Fly's very low as well. So in that regard, Faker's actually doing very good. Gumayusi gonna even pick up the Scuttle Crab.
Yep, almost towards his Muramana, or Manamune, sorry. Not very close to the Muramana, because of course pickaxe start to continue the dominance when it comes to the laning phase. Laning is a little bit more difficult when you go the Manamune build, because you don't have that overshield so early that Draven absolutely loves, allowing you to play extraordinarily aggressively without being able to be punished too much because of Bloodthirster's incredible amount of lifesteal. The damage potential definitely a little bit higher when it comes to getting that transformation and the power spike, which is about the time where you want to start cashing in for those adoration stacks. And speaking of those, we're stacking them up pretty high, hovering over the Pantheon right now, so we can't actually see what the number is, but Gumayusi juggling pretty well here towards the bottom side.
Doing very good so far down here on the Draven. They've gotten themselves so much gold, and that's what's helping keep the gold score so close. As Keen, now he has the culling. He's probably going to utilize it here, I would imagine. After getting the bone plating, we'll see. He ends up dishing it out.
Yep, ardently blazes Canna there, as you can see. And these passive double taps are getting a little bit frightening. So maybe a little bit of wasted time there for Keen. I know you talk about cheetah recalls all the time, but wasn't exactly able to get too much that was relevant underneath that turret. But just wanting to stick around in lane for a little while longer was the Lucian. You can understand why, because he's ahead by a gigantic margin. As Gumayushi's actually heading towards top lane. They want to kill Keen.
Yeah. They are trying to get out of this laning phase. They feel like the advantages they secured down in bottom is big enough now, and they want to do the flip. I'm very surprised they're doing this, though, prior to getting the Mountain Dragon, because it's such a valuable Drake for both of these two teams, given that they're both all-in centric. So, a little surprising.
They already lost an entire minion wave bottom lane as well. So, they are in a deficit, as you can see, in the gold score. As Spirit in position, that ward probably going to get a lot of value, as Spirit hasn't actually stepped out of the Tri-Brush just yet, and things are starting to get very, very dark.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
It's the Blast Cone as he hits his sweeper and has to walk back around. Canna moves down towards the bottom side. And yeah, T1 just trying to share their power around as Gumayushi gets further ahead. But
Afrika, I mean, they're trying to start the Rift Herald here, but this is really surprising. There's no reason to really do this, because if they blunder this, all of Lucian's pressure is going to be offset.
Yeah, and theoretically, if Gumayushi's able to get any of these kills, then that's a lot of money going over to T1. However, Gumayushi not able to get it with the Whirling Death, and that is going to be Shelly secured. Bubble connecting onto Fly once again. Nice little geometry there played by Faker, as he doesn't find the Paddle Star off the other end of it. Level 9 should help him out when it comes to landing Bubble into Paddle Star, even when the cooldown is not necessarily up there yet.
I just have no idea what the whole point of the rotation is. You can see they're re-swapping. I don't know what is going on right now. As they're going to send Keen back down to the bottom, and this is going to mean the Mountain Dragon gets picked up for free, and this is something that never should have happened. This just feels like Afrika is blundering here. They're actually putting Renekton into a lane that he's going to be happy with. As weird as that sounds, the 2v1 is much more ideal. And if they take his turret, he's just going to get free farm in the long range and top, and T1's not really going to care about this.
Well, you can see it's taking a while for LM to take down the Rift Herald, but that is a lot of plate gold going over to Mystic. They want to try and get their Callista back into this game. I guess it's a priority problem, as Dazzle's going to miss. Good dice out from Canna as Mystic. Not going to be tanking up that turret because it's Ben that just holds onto the aggro for as long as he can. But plates, plates, plates. And the Rift Herald not really meaning too much, right? Because the same amount of plates are going to be consumed here by T1 on the bottom side. And so as the dust settles, it's Keen that's getting wrecked here. And I agree with you. I think that being able to get down there and challenge for the Drake, as here's the Cosmic Radiance. Is Canna going to get back? That's a face breaker. The Crocodile looking to try and take down the Taric, but there's the Fate's Call. Good knock-up, and all the sticks going to get pulled out, and that is going to be a handbag there towards the top side. Whirling Death not doing anything there. I mean, usually just throwing it out as a celebration.
At the end of it all, I mean, T1 are very happy no matter what. He bought so much time. And even though Renekton ends up going down, just look at how T1 coordinated their bottom lane. They get the first turret of the game. That's really helping offset the pressure. And now Renekton's going to be very happy. The top tier 1 turret goes down. He's thinking to himself, wow, delicious. I no longer have to run up in a long lane against Lucian. Or if he goes down into bottom lane, now he's the one with a turret. He's able to hug it down in bottom tier 1, and there's not a dragon. So it's not like he's missing out on anything. Faker winning against Fly in mid lane. He's up a level, and he's up 2 turret plates.
Yeah, the pressure definitely going back in favor of Faker in that lane after we did see Fly have a decent start. Afrika still ahead when it comes to money. Blade of the Ruined King completed here for Keen as his first item. So not going for, you know, the Chovy line of thinking, which is Essence Reaver as Effort. Going to get a bit of a stun there onto Mystic. The Ignite going down as well, as Mystic's trying to hop over that wall. Eventually has to flash as Effort just gets the 1v1. Support versus
Support
AD.
champ, by the way.
What a disaster.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Pantheon support. And it's so surprising it took so long for players to start playing him, because the item rework that happened at the very start of the season, making it easier to pick up these power items even faster, incentivizes carry supports a lot more because they're able to get to their first core and second core items pretty reliably inside of games. Pantheon, one of the strongest utilizers of cheap items, given how much value he gets with Serrated Dirk.
Yeah, and the power of Umbral Glaive just as a support item in general. It's very, very strong. So I appreciate it as well. Thank you very much, Beryl, for bringing that into our lives as Bubble's going to connect here. Onto Fly. Fake uses the last of his mana there as Whirling Death isn't going to pick up the kill. It's Effort that gets yet another one. 100% of T1's kills right now. As if we had Player of the Game votes, then mine would be already going over to Effort.
Yep. And Yushi just trying to get as many stacks as he possibly can right now.
Yep, close to 400 at this point. Getting a big blue on those blades.
Kana here, I mean, he manages to almost get the entirety of the minion wave, that one melee minion. Kalista ultimate ends up coming out. He tries to flash outside the range of the rend.
칼리 여기.
아래. 너 탐빌게.
나 칼리 좀 싸울게.
볼게 이거.
노플.
얘네
나이스.
올라오고 나이스. 얘네 올라오고 있다.
나 뺄 수 있어. 뺄 수 있어. 칼리도.
Kalista no spell. And then right here, Kalista. Draven sends in the Whirling Death, and he was feeling a little bit regretful that she was right at the edge. Couldn't quite cash in.
Yep. I do like the positioning, though. I think that if Fly had a flash, then the Whirling Death would have hit. So it was like, pick your poison in that instance. Fly making the right choice not to flash, but I think I would have cleansed if I was him. Decides instead to die, which, you know, flash cooldown, dead. Well, cleanse cooldown and dead. Definitely, I'd take the cleanse cooldown personally. As Mystic. Oh my god, the amount of burst damage. As there's a flat forward and Faker just picks him off. Good night, Mr. Kalista, as it's now Mystic's turn to underperform in this game.
And T1, now with a pretty commanding lead, 2,500 gold. Wait for Draven, though, to cash in once, and the gold lead is going to explode even further. Ocean Dragon likely going to go the way of them. It's coming up in 13 seconds. They already have the Volibear in proximity. It looks like Gumayushi, though, he's going to come over. He's continuing to stack up these Adoration stacks. And it looks like Keen might be next on the chopping block, but no, they respect the spirits moving in. You can see the ping by Faker, I assume, onto that Ocean Dragon. Also rolled a Redemption.
Good
so
player.
You can tell he's proficient at Zoe.
Yeah, Spirit over to the side. T1 knows exactly what's going on here, as they are going to trade Drake for Herald. And T1 have played the map better, and they've also been able to play these fights better and these skirmishes better. So it is T1 just looking like a stronger team right now in this particular game, despite the fact that Afrika did have slight gold leads early on, and Keen really doing a number on the Renekton. Just hasn't seemed to matter, as all of these minions are going to waste on the bottom side. Fly will get in and pick up some of this experience at least. As, okay, also Will is going to help out there as he throws those minions back, but that was a lot that went missing here on bottom side of the map.
And Kana, right now, he's going to instantly shove out the wave. This is about the time that I cry about no freezing. This is right around the exact moment in the game. Because Afrika is so far behind in the game that if Renekton just pulls that wave, there's nothing for Keen to do. And he's going to end up hemorrhaging his CS advantage, and Renekton can actually mitigate it. Or he overextends in the lane and just dies to T1 because they're the ones with autonomy on the map right now. They get control and say over everything that happens. Padre, it's up in 4 minutes. He might be dead.
Yeah, Alan's going to come through, but unfortunately, he's not going to be able to do anything because Faker just takes care of it by himself. That was a no-flash Zoe that just absolutely obliterated the top laner of Afrika, and he has no way of getting out of any of that CC. So that is just good night Lucian. And Faker's playing extraordinarily well this game. In fact, this whole series feels like the comeback to the god of the mid lane. And I, for one, am very happy to see it.
Yeah. I mean, right now, in this game, everyone on T1 is just so far ahead, with the exception being the Renekton, who understandably had a very rough laning phase against the Lucian, but now Kana has transitioned out. We're now in the mid game, and all the other champions are very, very, very far ahead at this point in time. Like the itemization out of Faker, he has the Sword Pen boots and the Oblivion Orb, no MR present on the enemy team, so you take a look at Syndra, she has 42 MR, 43 she just leveled up. Faker penning 33 of that, dealing near true damage to a lot of the members on the side of Afrika.
Oh my god.
And the timer lines up right there.
미드 다음 선포지 한번 밀려.
Yeah, this Faker
Yeah,
will
Toby
find
will
Keen here.
Again.
35 MR.
천천히 가줘, 천천히 가줘.
He has 2 MR against
아래만
him.
줘봐, 아래만 줘봐.
Ow.
내가 잡았어 이거. 아래만 줘면. 죽지 마.
잡았어.
미드 5인이다 이번에.
Jeez.
막으러 갈게.
That's some scary stuff.
And Faker, it looks like he is going into the Rabadon's Death Cap as his next item, as he picks up the needlessly large rod. I'm a little bit surprised he doesn't just outright pick up the Mage Eyes right now, given that the game is in a bit of downtime. And a fight, if it would unfold at Cloud Drake, could be pretty big. We've seen this a lot in Europe. The Mage Eyes picked up very early on in the mid stages of the game. The item's just so powerful.
Yep, also a very good snowball item, and for a comp like this, certainly does work out very, very well there also. And so I would also like the idea. Effort is just going to put up the shield, and this is the value of the Pantheon. He is going to have to flash to get out of the way, but he gets a culling for his trouble. And T1 continue to plow ahead.
Yeah.
Pantheon's a hell of a champion, dude.
He is very good. He is a nice spell.
Yeah.
And seems like right now, T1, they're just going to wait, play slow and steady. And this is pretty good League of Legends out of T1 here. Very, very, very clean play. It's not dominating and creating avalanches in the way that Damwon is, but they seem to be very aware of what the state of the game is and what they need to do in order to win. They're not trying to force anything or doing anything a little bit too reckless. And nice attempt by Kana.
Yep, throws out his Blade of the Ruin King at Keen. I like that he's still playing aggressively, 0-2-0, so definitely not the performance that he had in game number 1, but definitely not the same matchup either. As Keen's Lucian, very different to Fly's Ornn, as Spirit is going to be able to lock away his big chicken. And now, with the Cloud Drake spawning in 25 seconds, I have a feeling that T1 should be able to isolate Soul Point very, very conveniently. And I actually quite like Cloud Soul for Draven. He likes throwing out Whirling Death as often as he possibly can. So we do like to talk about Cloud Soul benefiting the team that does like to use R buttons a lot. And I guess, you know, T1 like their R buttons.
Well, Cloud Soul, very good for Volibear, Renekton, and Pantheon in particular, once they end up getting there, the MS.
Yep.
As almost a 5,000 gold lead here for T1, and I feel like Afrika, I mean, this is their funeral if they try to genuinely take a fight, although Effort gonna get popped.
He's gonna get popped. Unfortunately, the E is, it's very powerful, but not quite that powerful. As Afrika waited out and do manage to grab the kill, they will also follow it up with a turret here, so a bit of resurgence out of Afrika as Ellen puts on the Siren. Isn't able to get the stun or anything like that onto Keen. As Bubble not going to connect with anything either. So Afrika just going to start off this Drake, and T1's plans are going to get hindered
You know
for the next little while.
It was all part of the plan, Atlas. What's going to happen here is Pantheon with his ultimate. No, never mind. It does not seem like that's going to be the case. But it was not a cruel ploy in the end, as they're now headed towards the Baron, and you can see Afrika. They're respecting that this might actually be something that's happening, and Draven, pretty good at taking
Fly has
Baron.
his blue trinket, so he puts it down in the Baron pit. They do spot it out as the bubble is not going to connect. Afrika are going to move around it. Effort over to the side. T1 now going to be peeling off the Baron. They're looking for a team fight. Now they're back to a 5v5. Good stun is going to land as the Superplex is going to get in there, and the double face breaker from Spirit. Cosmic Radiance, perfect timing as Spirit flashes forward with the Haymaker, and T1 are going to get wiped out. That's a great knock-up to land onto Effort. He should be free food here for Afrika, as Mystic is going to be able to help take him out. Ellem's also going to fall as Fly picks that one up, and Afrika are back in it.
I feel like I caster cursed T1 in some weird way where I was commenting how safe and calculated their play was and that it was very correct with everything that was going on. And then in the last 1 minute, it was some of the sloppiest play in playoffs that we've seen in terms of decision making, pretty much all around. So Gumayushi, he doesn't end up dying, so that's pretty fortunate. He's not one of the members that ends up biting the dust, but let's just take a look at this. Why is Effort randomly in mid here? Why is that ward of any importance with the wave coming in? And so he just gets trapped, and then they start up the Baron. Elim takes 50% of his life, Kana just randomly begging Syndra to QE combo him, and then Faker off on the right-hand side. There's no way to take this fight from this angle, and they're lucky that this is all that they lost in the end, because this is a pretty awful series of decisions.
Yeah. Not much more to say. As Fly very easily takes down the Volibear. So T1 back here again. We did talk about if at first you don't succeed, but I don't know whether trying for this Baron at 24 minutes is going to net better results the second time around. As T1 do still have a gold advantage. Gumayushi especially very far ahead when it comes to gold, but you can see the gold graph is showing Afrika coming back up again.
Yeah. Well, T1, I mean, they're still ahead right now inside of this game. Taric, though, the longer that the game goes on, he becomes scarier and scarier, as it's going to be more difficult to really beat him in the later stages, especially as defensive itemization starts coming in more. Don't look at Faker's inventory is one of the things that I would say.
Oh, man, it was looking so good.
It was
with
looking
that
real
needlessly
good,
large
yeah.
rod, and then Boris just gets in his ear and says, "No, you gotta finish that book, man."
Buy my book.
Faker's like, "Oh, you have an autobiography? That's so cool." As because of that, Faker is going to reset the blue buff, which is absolutely not what he wants. Eventually, he will be able to pick this one up quite nicely and put some sparkles into it, and that is going to be blue secured. 2-0-1, so you can't complain too much if you're a Faker fan. But I would have liked to see something like a Death Cap. Edge of Night completed here by Gumayushi. He definitely wants to be able to cash in, though. These stacks are getting out of control. 730. The blades are so blue.
Oh, they are very big right now. He just needs one kill. He's been waiting for this for a while.
Yeah, well, Spirit might be delivering it to him as he superplexes right on in. Gumayushi gets on over the top. It's a big shield from the Haymaker as the Culling's going to zone out the Draven for now. Faker grabs that kill as the Whirling Death isn't able to do so. He flashes forward, finds the bubble as well. But enough distance has been created as Ben is going to survive for the minute. Definitely scary stuff, though, and Spirit now being dead means that T1 can try this play once again if they would like to. Mystic getting chunked just a little bit. Faker picks up a Blade of the Ruin King.
Curious why he's not standing in the Draven spot, where he can just stand still and endlessly catch the axes.
Oh yeah, true. Well, Ben is going to find a Dazzle onto Faker.
Fly!
There's the Blast Cone, and Fly's just going to get blown up. Fate's Call comes down. Mystic trying to fight this one out. That's a great stand aside as Ben. He's going to be the first one to go down. No! Actually, it's going to be Gumayushi. Double kill for Mystic. Key's going to grab one as well. And there we go. All of the emotes come out. A triple kill and a double. The full house for the 80 carries on Afrika's side.
And Afrika, I mean, I don't know what's going on right now. We got a baseball game on our hands, Atlas, because there's a lot of throwing going on here. This is one of the most all around. Take a look at this. So, Spirit superplexes backwards the Volibear. Gumayushi getting zoned out there by the Draven, and so he ends up backing up, doesn't cash in his stacks. They have a very good angle. And then right here, also not utilizing the Draven spot to get the endless auto attacks. Take a look at what happens. They could have just given this kill to Draven. He would have cashed in. And then I almost feel like this is tilt by him as they run forward. Yes, Ben just barely lives. We mentioned this earlier about Taric. He can become very obnoxious in the later stages of the game. And now T1, they lose the Baron. They're going to pick up the Cloud Dragon, but what a series of blunders by this team.
Absolute disaster. And as well, a whole lot of those Adoration stacks now down the toilet. for this Draven. Not going to be getting online anytime soon now, especially with this Callista being very, very big. Death's Dance as well as Ninja Tabi means that Mystic's actually quite tanky also and has all of that, that lifesteal available. And now Afrika have grabbed themselves the gold lead. You can see they had a little bit of a slump, you know, shareholders got a little bit worried, but now they're back into it. We're investing in Afrika.
Well,
As, I don't know, maybe it's Boris switching sides of the map that's led us to this point.
well, Gumayushi now down to 220 stacks on Draven. That definitely hurts.
Yeah, it's devastating.
He is getting to get them back up, though, really quick. Trying to do everything that he possibly can. Actually, probably prefers the Baron minions to be buffed, so he can auto them a little bit more. Now the siege is coming in. The real question, though, is that Afrika now is the one in a very commanding position. The items are very in their favor. Faker yet to have that death cap completed. I think Ella might be building Locket.
Ooh, culling. Not doing enough. And yeah, that'd be interesting. Looking forward to seeing it. Zeke's Harbinger done for Ben as well, so he's going to be buffing up Mystic even further. The Callista going to be very important for these guys. Keen looking for his Essence Reaver does have QSS done. Very valuable up against Faker, who has been landing a lot of these bubbles throughout the mid-game. He's got a death cap, speaking of which, and Gumayushi is going to be able to plow through this red buff very comfortably. And man, I'm getting worried for T1. I feel like their time is slowly running out. As we've got another BF sword for Mystic, the triple lifesteal will be coming in very, very soon. And the Essence Reaver is now done. Keen is a raid boss right now. He's very, very scary.
Yes. 3 items on the Lucian. Has Black Cleaver, Essence Reaver, and Blade of the Ruin King QSS there, as well as the defensive measure. And now T1 are they're the ones that are behind. They do have the Cloud Soul coming up. I mean, if Gumayushi can get one fight and get a turning, he probably just actually gets both item completions. He'll end up picking up his 4th and 5th item probably at the same time, which is pretty big. They might find it here.
Okay, and he does have Flash available. Immediate QSS. That was very Captain Jack. Loved it. As there's the fadeaway culling as well to soften the members of T1. And now Keen looking to try and turn it. Spirit, can he find the correct engage? So far, not exactly there just yet. Good face breaker as effort gets over the wall. T1 actually trying to start this fight off. As there's the Cosmic Radiance, and now Afrika pull the trigger. Fly landing a nice stun. There's the knockup. Ben goes through with the Dazzle. He's going to sacrifice himself as the blades are going to be cashed in, but Mystic still bouncing around the battle and is going to be able to pick up one of the kills. Faker now running for the hills as Afrika are going to win yet another team fight.
And it looks like Fly is on the hunt for Faker. Not going to be able to get him, though, in the end. And so now you can see Keen running through the red side jungle, but still, Draven did cash in before he ended up dying, and so that is a victory in itself. So even though it's 2-3 in favor of Afrika, the Draven passive is helping to mitigate that a little bit. Faker, though, actually gonna die.
Yeah, Ellen also in trouble as there's the point-blank culling as Keen goes past the turret to get that solo kill onto the volley bear. This is what happens when the top laner of Afrika is enabled. And I'm just so happy to see Keen playing well, man. It just, been talking this guy up, hasn't been performing all season. And finally here in the gauntlet and in the playoffs, Keen looking good.
And you're gonna see Elam on the right-hand side in this team fight. He's looking for an angle to re-engage. Effort goes over the wall, but he's being very conservative in this team fight, and then it becomes a full-on disengage. T1, you're on the opposite side of the map. And Elam, I mean, he jumps into the fight. He does literally nothing, actually. I guess he Qs at the end, the Peacemaker set, and that ends up being it. Summons a Lightning Strike, and Faker, I don't know why he took the route that he did rather than just trying to run into Fog of War somewhere and recall. He kept trying to run back to the own safe haven that was his base, but now 4,000 gold lead for Afrika, and they're going to pick up the Cloud Dragons.
Yep, this is going to be their second Drake of the game, denying this Cloud Soul over and over again. Are Afrika with their advantages that they have been picking up, close to a 4,000 gold lead. Another BF sword done for Keen. Looks like Infinity Edge might be coming in as fourth item. That is definitely a lot of damage out of the Lucian. Just the Mercurial Scimitar after that to be completed. As Mystic hasn't been home in a while, I don't think. He's been sitting on these items for a really long time, but I guess only really has the option of completing the Bloodthirster, which is a bit of an investment. There's some popcorn chicken, going to be delicious here for Afrika. As Baron is available, and Afrika just wondering how to set up for it, as Gumayusi going to tank the culling, but a decent stun to knock Keen out of it. And Gumayusi back to full health very, very quickly.
Well, T1 are posturing around right now. Baron is live. We're still going to fight on our hands. Afrika, they are favored right now inside of this game, but it's not impossible for T1 to obviously win a team fight and then turn things around. It does feel like they are playing a bit of a 4 versus 5 though at this point in the game, because Renekton can't do a whole lot. Very hard for him to fight into Taric at this point. He ends up working against T1 because of the set. He's basically just a pick and a stun bot at this stage in the game, but Taric is very, very obnoxious. And with more and more utility items coming out on the side of Afrika, things continue to get worse. I wonder if Lucian is going to go for the Bloodthirster as his next item, or if he'll pick up the Infinity Edge on the Lucian.
I'm expecting IE, but I do respect the Bloodthirster. Would mean triple lifesteal for the Lucian as well. But there is a Morellonomicon, I guess. So Faker is able to deny a lot of that healing, theoretically, if he's able to land his skills in a team fight. And as Gumayusi going to go back, looks like Mortal Reminder might be ready for the Draven.
Yep,
and it
Draven
is.
full item.
The purple Draven build.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. It's not the scoreline that we were wanting. Of course, you know, Gumayusi undying in the first match, 9-0 and 8. This time around, 1-2-3, so we can count. But it's not exactly the better KDA in this situation. Not over yet, though. As Fly, as his Banshee's Veil, as well as his Death Cap. I want to point out that Fly is definitely of an aggressive mindset this game. Picks up Faker's skin to take into him in the mid lane, which is bold, to say the least, especially after game 1. But he's had a good game so far. That IE is done. Keen, massive, absolutely massive right now on this Lucian.
Just making his way towards his last item, which will certainly be the Scimitar. This game is definitely going the distance right now. It's only a 4,000 gold deficit still, so that has been retained. I'm curious how many stacks Draven actually has back up again.
Yeah, might have a fair few, as he doesn't really have very much to buy. I mean, he's going to be cycling through items now, as far as selling some things.
He might sell his boots in favor of getting Phantom Dancer or getting Trinity Force, if he would want a movement speed item that would also give him more upside.
Yeah, some added safety also.
Yeah. We'll see what ends up happening. A lot of the pressure right now on the side of T1 is going to be on Faker, however. With the Zoe, the bubbles are going to be super important, but it's very problematic because there is those QSSs and the Banshee Veils that he has to try to get through. That is
also
causing
Taric,
the
right?
problems.
Cosmic Radiance is so good into the Zoe, as there's another culling thrown down, but just for a little bit of a tickle out of Keen. And Gumayusi back to full very, very quickly, as you can see. Damn, he doesn't actually have any lifesteal in the build. This is just like from runes and being Draven. Impressive.
Well, we'll see what is going to happen in the final dance. Cloud Dragon coming up in 20 seconds.
Oh, sorry, Sanguine Blade is in there, so never mind. Gumayusi does have that one. Yes, continue.
Does not seem like this game is going to be going on probably for that much longer. I mean, Cloud Dragon will be taken. Both parties nearing the end of their rope. T1, they're going to come into Baron now. They're going to clear out the vision. Draven, I don't believe can solo it with these items. I think he needs a Bloodthirster for that. Looks like Keen, though, speaking of soloing, is going to solo that dragon.
Yeah, very comfortably. We're going to have a lot of ultimate cooldown here for Afrika as Ellen. They are going to make their way back into the base. Bubble is going to connect. Onto Ben. Almost gets one shot there by Faker as whirling down. And that's going to secure it. Fly also limping away from this fight. As Mystic, I don't know, that was very weird. The Fate's Call went off but didn't go off. As Ben unfortunately died the split second that came in. That was really odd.
What was that, man? And Gumayushi gets the cash in. We'll see if he actually does get any other item. Or if these are just going to be steroids for his elixirs.
Yeah, it just needs more. He's just going to be he's going to be filling his fridge with all of those elixirs. As he may not even go back to base. Who knows?
Oh no,
as Spirit might be caught out. This could be their ticket in as there's the stun. Bubble's also going to connect. Goodbye, Mr. Spirit. They wait for the stun.
Oh, they have
That's
a waving top
out of Fly.
with Baron. And so the death timer on Spirit, very, very long right now. They have teleport on Kana too. They could do some pretty tricky things here, but Tariq's back up.
Yep. That bottom wave for Afrika is right on the front door. So there is a theoretical split push opportunity, backdoor idea for Keen, if he would like to. That's if Afrika want to throw away any team fight. But now they have all 5 members here. The Baron is on T1, but they still have to break through the base. As Keen bouncing around, not going to get bubbled. And Afrika staved them off for the moment. Draven's going to go back. Let's have a look to see what he's going to be purchasing as he sells those boots.
Sell the boots? What are you guessing? What are you guessing?
Oh, I'd like Trinity Force because it just costs a lot of money.
I would like Trinity Force, although I could... Does he have Yumus yet?
Oh, man. That was so close to Mystic being able to pick him up.
He does, yeah.
He does have Yumus, yeah.
He does have Yumus.
I don't think he has Duskblade. He could theoretically build Duskblade for even more lethality.
I imagine it'll either be Trinity Force or it'll be Phantom Dancer.
Oh, Bloodthirster.
No. Okay.
And so now he has plus devil damage. Oh no, he actually grabs the elixir and now he's got even more. So 700 whirling death damage. Ain't bad at all.
Alright, so he's just going to rely on W and Yumu's for his movement speed.
That's
obviously fine, as long as you're catching your axes inside of fights and everything is stationary. He's going to be able to stand his ground and pretty much go toe-to-toe with anyone now. None of the marksmen should be able to beat him in the 1v1 anymore.
Yep.
Should be no hope for that. But the problem is that both of these teams really suck at sieging. And so because of that, this is a very long and drawn-out game.
Yeah. Keen looking for that Mercurial Scimitar, hasn't built that one up just yet. Still sitting on that 700 gold bounty. Gumayushi's moved up to 650. Just the realities of being Draven, I guess. 3, 2, and 3. So, you know, you went from 1, 2, 3 to 3, 2, 3 in the last 10 minutes or so. So nicely done. But this game is definitely going the distance. 42 minutes. With 2 comps that we thought were going to be all about the mid-game, right? We didn't think that this was going to be extended this long. But when the 2 team compositions are pretty similar, that is likely to happen. As Afrika, I still think that, you know, their team fight, if things go the right way, the Tariq is able to create so many problems for T1. But then if he just dies before it even starts, it's not really going to work, because he's going to have to spam that heal to get himself back up again.
And Afrika right now, they're still in a pretty good position in this game. The game is very even, pretty much all around. Tariq, not sure if he's going to be able to get any more items picked up. Scimitar finally in for Draven now, so all future gold should probably be just allocated towards the Callista. This is one of the strangest things in the world, by the way. Fly just outright picked up the Morello.
It might be to try and stop Gumayushi from life-stealing through. Yeah.
Yeah. It might actually just be solely for the Draven. Obviously, there's not a whole lot of magic resist on the side of T1. And so it's not like Void Staff is of the utmost importance. And also...
Okay, that the E once again being pretty good, but Keen doing a lot of damage there to the squishy Pantheon. Not going to get punished too much because, of course, the heal's coming out of Tariq. He has the Zeeks now also picked up.
Yeah.
So
An
are going to be
effort.
connected to him, I believe. As they have one each. That might be Knight's Vow. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, Zeeks is on Mystic. As our Faker coming through looking for Keen. Not able to get him. Remember, Mercurial Scimitar is
Ooh.
still there.
And this... Wait,
All right,
what?
Spirit looks for it. There's the face break with the flash out. That means Spirit goes the wrong direction, but the Cosmic Radiance is so strong. 1v1 in the backline is Elim. He's very, very big, very tanky, but he's still running the hell away. This is going to be Cloud Soul, a 4-stack Cloud Soul coming through from Afrika. And ever since that third Drake is all Keen, he is going to be able to find Elim here. He gets a decent stun. But I think that Kane's going to be able to grab this one as Spirit comes over to help out. And that is just the solo kill. Spirit didn't even want to get an assist. As, yeah, the Frozen Bear is going to go straight to the Death Chamber. And Afrika, I mean, this has been a marathon. But they're in a good position right now.
Yeah, and you can see that right now Gumiyashi, I mean, Spirit just runs at him. And Gumiyashi flashes a little bit too late. Not able to get to the blast cone, not going to be able to get there over the wall. Just T1 not with the best angle to protect him here. And you can see Kana, he was playing for some sort of a flank angle, but really all you need to do is try to protect the Zoe. The only person that's really long range that you're afraid of is obviously the Syndra with her QE. So this is going to be the Cloud Soul now on the side of Afrika. As we are nearing the 50-minute mark, Scimitar now picked up on the Callista. I don't know if you saw it, but
Lifesteal.
Gumiyashi,
That is a lot.
yeah. Gumiyashi sold his items and then just re-completed to the same exact one. So he's probably thinking, this is a very awkward spot. I'm not sure if there's something better. Faker, oh man.
That's a lot of Whirling Death damage,
That
actually.
is, yeah. I mean, he's going to heal it back up, though. He has Scimitar and Blade of the Ruin King.
And Ben.
And Ben.
So yeah, it's going to be healed up pretty quickly. As Afrika move on over to this Baron, remember they have a lot of Baron secure, especially with a full build Callista, as they're going to even throw a Rift Scuttler at it. Control vision is going to be taken away here by T1 though, and we are going to have a 5v5. This could decide the entire game as Mystic. Going to get tagged by Faker. Dazzle going to miss. Honda Cannon there, but the stand aside also not going to connect. Spirit in a bit of trouble. Wasn't actually able to tank up the Baron all that effectively. And now he's going to have to go back home. Bubble not going to connect onto Ben. As T1 trying to get in position as Kane. Very aggressive movement. As both Elim and Canna are going to run away. Stormstrike doesn't connect.
Historically, this has been where T1 as an organization has actually flourished the most. In these very long, drawn-out games, the players tend to remain the most calm and manage to win it out. It's historically been how they've won a lot of their games. Effort. Very, very careful.
Yeah, that was a chunking. So he's going to have to go back now as well. And so once again, Afrika have the opportunity of moving over towards this Baron. There's a control ward in the back of the pit, but Spirit puts that control ward back in here. And T1 having to deal with the Baron in darkness as Faker does find a bubble, lands onto Ben. Now Effort making his way back through. Ben actually down very, very low as the culling is soaked up by Elim. That's probably okay. But T1 is Mystic sticking with the Baron right now, but he is going to get tagged up. Not going to have to use his Scimitar just yet as he gets out of the way of the Baron. Keen dashing over the wall. This is super intense.
This is, it's a bit of tug of war. A little bit of pushback on both sides. Elder Dragon coming up in 2.5 minutes as both junglers still just moving towards their full items. Very, very surprised that Korea has not picked up on the Locket of the Iron Solari yet.
Yeah.
Really, really, really big whiff by both here. And I mean, itemization is pretty much all that we can talk about at this point in time. Zanya's still the final item, yet to be picked up by both Syndra and Zoe. And that wave almost raised the turret. That is super scary. We are at this point of the game where the minions are hurting.
Yeah, side lane management's actually going to be very, very important. And you saw Afrika just drop the ball a little bit on that front. This inhibitor turret is going to regen its health, but probably not enough. As you can see the Lucian going back. He picks up Phantom Dancer after selling the boots. Lucian's online, by the way, guys. It's a lot of crit. And is actually now going to be much safer as well, with the fact that he has Scimitar as well as the shield through the lifeline passive. So Mystic here bouncing around the mid lane. He still has his boots. Of course, boots are very, very valuable for a Callista. As Spirit in flanking position, he flashes on over, looks to try and grab someone back. Facebreaker comes in, and there's the superplex onto Canna. He's very, very healthy, and actually does have the stone plate completed, but there's the power of the Cosmic Radiance flashing forward and picks off the Draven. This should be the team fight for Afrika, as now Effort tries to run away, but he doesn't have enough shields back. And here is the recall from Canna to get himself back in, but I think Afrika may have just broken it open. And I think we have a tied series now as Canna even going to get stopped there as Fly picks that one up. And now these Nexus turrets aren't going to last very long whatsoever. Afrika have done it in a 50-minute game. They take game number 2, and now it's just a best of 3 for one of these teams to move forward and still have a chance of going to Worlds when they face off against Gen G. That was absolutely epic in that game number 2, and a huge win for Afrika.
Well, I mean,